Hey guys, let's discuss current affairs and today's first questions on the Kenyan election. William Ruto has recently been declared winner of Kenya's presidential election. That's William Ruto on your screen, and in places where you may find Bill Ruto. Remember, Bill is a nickname of William. Okay? So Kenya's election has been quite contentious, controversial, with two of the opposing candidates. William Ruto was, opposed by a guy named Raila Odinga. Now, Ruto has won the election, but Odinga has gone to the court, Supreme Court of Kenya, stating that the election has been marked by irregular voting and election fraud. Now, these kinds of things are obvious, accusations. There could be truth to it, but for now, these are accusations, especially in what has been one of the most controversial election campaigns in Kenyan history. Kenya's outgoing president, if you want to know, outgoing president. So William Ruto succeeds a guy called, Uhuru Kenyatta. Uhuru Kenyatta. That's the name of the outgoing president. And the new president, that's the incoming president, is William Ruto. Okay. Kenya's capital, as you would know, is Nairobi. And the currency there is the Kenyan shilling. Kenyan shilling. So, what about Tanzania? Usually I would have a map, and today I have a picture of the guy who is going to rule Kenya for the next 5 years, at least 5 years. Tanzania's capital is Dodoma, and the president here is Samia Suluhu Hassan. Samia Suluhu Hassan. We'll not focus on the currency, we'll just look at the leader, because I think to a large extent this is question that focus only on leaders. Somalia's new president is Hassan Sheikh Mohammed. Hassan Sheikh Mohammed. This is one of the most dangerous countries in the world, one of the poorest, one of the most, violent nations on earth. South Africa's president is Cyril Ratcliffe. Cyril, not, it is not Cyril Ratcliffe, ladies and gentlemen, it is Cyril Ramaphosa. Now, why did the name of Ratcliffe come to my mind? Maybe in the back of my mind, I was thinking about one of the questions that's that's going to come in this session about the partition of India. Okay, so I'll tell you what role was played by Cyril Ratcliffe, as some of you would already know. Sudan. Okay, let's look at Sudan. Sudan is the third biggest country in Africa, which is the biggest. Algeria is the biggest by area, followed by the DRC, the Democratic Republic of Congo. Sudan is the third biggest by area, and Sudan's got no president for now. They have a chairman of the transition council from military rule to democracy. It's currently headed by this man called Abdel Fattah Al Burhan. Abdel Fattah Al Burhan. Okay, he's the chairman of the Transition Council in Sudan. Okay. Which Indian city will host the 23rd edition of the International Seafood Festival Seafood Show in February 2023? It's going to be Kolkata. Kolkata's going to play host to this, and I want you to write a bit about the seafood stuff in India, around the world. You could write this: July 10th, National Seafood, or National, not Seafood, since it's a question of seafood, National Fisheries Day. or National Fish Farmers Day? National Fish Farmers Day. In some places you may find Fisheries Day. So this is July 10th, National Fish Farmers Day. Next, I'll give you some random numbers, so random data concerning this particular industry. Right, top three fish production nations, fish producing nations. Top three fish producing nations. Top three: China, India, Indonesia. See, my data comes from the economic survey this year's. Okay, for the previous year, that is presented on the 31st of January 2022. The economic survey contains data on the fish industry in India, the fishing sector in India. So it talks about India being the second, largest fish producer. We know China is number one, number three is Indonesia. Now, you could also write blue revolution dash to increase food production, next, blue revolution, if you have written blue revolution to increase food production, and below that, fathered by Harilal Chaudhary. So Harilal Chaudhary is considered the father of the fish blue revolution in India. Next, you could also write central marine fisheries research institute is in Kochi. Next, leave one line space, right? National Fisheries Development Board dash Hyderabad. As you move from, this is on the way from the airport to the city. From the airport, as you move towards the city in Hyderabad, you would find a fish-shaped building. That's the National Fisheries Development Board. Okay, it's shaped like a fish actually. Such things are called mimetic, mimetic, mimetic. I mean, shapes that resemble a particular animal or product or something is called mimetic. Okay, so let's go to another one. Let's write the name of the minister who heads this. You could also write this. And before we write the name of the minister, you write this. 2.8 crore people, 2.8 crore Indians are employed in the fisheries industry or in the fishing industry. Next, last point, total exports, the fisheries industry's exports dash 47,000 crore in 2019-20. This is the latest available data as per the Ministry of India, Commerce and Industry as well as Finance Ministry. Economic Survey gives this data. 47,000 crore in 2019-20. Okay. The last point. Ministry of Fisheries, comma, Animal Husbandry, Fisheries animal husbandry, which is rearing livestock, pigs, chickens, that is poultry, goats, cattle, that's animal husbandry. So fisheries, animal husbandry, and dairying. Who is the minister? Parshottam Rupala. Parshottam Rupala. Okay. Parshottam Rupala. Yeah. So that's a little about this seafood thing and all. Okay. I think we took some random points, but all related to the idea of seafood, fisheries, and all that. Chalo, from here to the next one. On which day did India observe the Partition Horrors Remembrance Day for the first time this year? First time is second time. It was inaugurated last year. Okay, it was brought in last year, but it's always observed once actually. Okay, once a year. That's 14th August. Why 14th August? That's a day partition was more or less brought into force. See, on the 3rd Jan, let me tell you a story. On the 3rd of June, I didn't intend to tell you this story, but anyway, I will tell you this. On the 3rd of June 1947, the partition of India was announced. This partition of India plan, partition of India, is also called the balkanization of India plan. Balkanization of India. Balkan is a mountain range in Eastern Europe. Historically and geographically, this mountain range has acted as a natural boundary between competing states in that region, in the past monarchies. So, Balkan means division. So, in effect, here the division of India was announced on 3rd of June 1947. Eventually, it took 100, it was like another 112 days to the partition. Okay, June, July, August, September, August, yeah. So it was less than that actually, 100 days, but the partition was announced, and it was a day where a lot of things changed. Okay, what was the partition of India about? What was partition? Land was partitioned, money was partitioned, central treasury of the British India was partitioned, defense forces were partitioned. So three things were partitioned. One, central treasury. Money was partitioned. Two, what is that? Defense forces. Three, partition of, you could write this, land, that is now territory. Partition of Punjab and Bengal. Punjab and Bengal provinces. Partition of Bengal and Punjab provinces. If you want to write this, partition of India was announced. Partition of India was announced based on the two nation theory. The two nation theory. The two nation theory. So what was the two nation theory? See, the two nation theory was popularized by Muhammad Ali Jinnah, the leader of the Muslim League, All India Muslim League. Jinnah said that Hindus and Muslims were two separate nations. Nation relates to people. Were two separate communities. Peoples is a good English. Two separate peoples who could never live in peace together. That was Muhammad Ali Jinnah. He said the partition of India shall happen on the basis of the differences between the Hindu and Muslim communities. So he said, we propose the two nation theory, which will form the basis for the partition of India. So, as far as the two nation theory is concerned, it's all about Hindus and Muslims being two separate nations. That's what Jinnah said, and these two communities can never live in peace together. So this is the basis for the partition of India into India and Bangladesh, India and Pakistan. It is another story that Pakistan itself was partitioned again in 1971. West Pakistan became Pakistan and East Pakistan became Bangladesh. Okay, I'll not discuss that, but I'll focus on. Sorry, I'll focus on. I'm so sorry, guys. Eyes are burning. I'll focus on what happened during the partition. So the provinces of Bengal and Punjab were divided. They were partitioned. And they were partitioned. See, one person was given the task of partitioning all these things. Okay? So this area didn't have to be partitioned, isn't it? What had to be partitioned? This had to be partitioned up to Punjab, and then I'm just drawing a rough outline. This area had to be partitioned. I'm just drawing an outline. Okay. This is Bangladesh. This was entirely Bengal. This entire area was Bengal. So this was partition. Just partition. In Pakistan, there is a Punjab, and there is a Punjab in India as well. So I'm not talking of the Sindh here. I'm talking of the Punjab here. So this formed the basis for the partition. The division of Bengal and Punjab, based on Muslim and non-Muslim majorities. Thousands, lakhs, millions of people moved between places, moved between India and Pakistan. Hindus and Sikhs and other non-Muslims moved to India from Pakistan, from Muslim majority areas. From India, Muslims went to Pakistan. Muslims went to Pakistan. So Hindus moved from here. Okay. Whereas, see, this is Hindus, and Muslims went from this place into Bangladesh and to Pakistan. There were large-scale killings of Hindus and Sikhs by Muslims, and large-scale killing of Muslims by Hindus and Sikhs. When we are blinded by anger, rage, loss of loved ones, we don't see anything else. We are blinded. We are blinded by our loss. Such were the bad, horrific times of the partition. 2 crore people moved between India and Pakistan, either side, this and that. From Pakistan to India, India to Pakistan, 2 crore people. And how many died? Well, estimates vary, but if you take the lower estimate, it's about 5 lakh. At least 5 lakh people died. And there is an estimate, some say it's 2 lakh. Yeah, it's unlikely to be just 2 lakhs. Around 5 lakh, a minimum of 5 lakh, the upper figure is 20 lakh. Take 10 lakh. Of course, number is, the number of deaths is just a statistics for people like us who didn't lose a loved one. But if we were to lose a loved one, we wouldn't be looking at numbers. We would be looking at them as tragedy. Okay? Of course, it was a tragedy. So, it is believed that at least 10 lakh people died in this entire partition time. Killing by members from other community. Yeah. So this idea of Partition Horrors Remembrance Day was brought in by Prime Minister Narendra Modi with a couple of objectives. One, to make sure that we don't forget the wounds of partition, and two, to remember the sacrifices made by millions of people who gave up their lives for the freedom of our nation, especially during the partition period. Okay, this is said to be the biggest mass migration in human history, moving between one place to another. Okay, I just wanted to share a few with you. Which is the first country to authorize a COVID-19 vaccine tailored to the Omicron variant? I'm not going to discuss this. I think we have had a very long time of COVID overdose. Okay, so let's go past this and let's look at something else. To which country did India recently gift a Dornier Maritime Reconnaissance spy plane, patrolling plane, a reconnaissance aircraft towards strengthening the maritime security of the island nation? That's Dornier 228 reconnaissance plane that has been gifted by Government of India to Sri Lanka, to the Sri Lankan, Air Force. This is, many people say, a spy plane. Well, of course, that's a job of it, basically. That's its job. So, what does it do? Why has it been given? It has been given to help Sri Lanka manage, tackle multiple problems like, large scale human trafficking, drug trafficking, smuggling in its coastal waters. It's an island. And a lot of this stuff comes to India, so India has its own worries. So to help Sri Lanka nab, arrest, stop these dangerous activities, we gifted this Dornier spy aircraft to Sri Lanka. Now, what about the ship at the bottom? The ship at the bottom is a Chinese spy ship. It's named Yuan Wang 5. You could be asked this question. Yuan Wang 5. Underline that. Underline that. First point. Chinese spy ship. SPY. Spy ship. Chinese spy ship used for tracking of space, satellite equipment and ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles. Intercontinental ballistic missile. Intercontinental ballistic missile. So this ship can track all kinds of things that go around. It's a submarine hunter and all that stuff. So India had voiced concerns to the Sri Lankans. Look, you can't let this ship come to your country. So under pressure from India, it postponed the arrival of the ship. But eventually the Sri Lankans had to give in to the demand from China that they allow this ship to dock at a port called Hanbantota. Hanbantota. I'm so sorry. Hanbantota. This is a port town in the south of the country. This is built by China, okay, for Sri Lanka. It is built by China for Sri Lanka. And this was built on a loan that China gave to Sri Lanka. Okay. Finally, Sri Lanka could not repay the loan, and Sri Lanka had given this particular port on a 99-year lease, okay, to China. In lieu of that payment, Sri Lanka says we shall receive paisa from China to the extent of $1.1 billion. And this port has been given to China on a 99-year lease basis. Okay. See, the Sri Lankans seem to be forgetting. Many people say that Sri Lankans are not grateful. We have held them up to $4 billion with aid of $4 billion in the last few months. No, no, Sri Lanka hasn't forgotten anything. It's just that Sri Lanka still owes a few $1 billion to China. So there is considerable Chinese pressure from Sri Lanka as well. So what we have done is we have been continuing to give aid to the Sri Lankans, We have given till date total cash loan or cash loan plus credit line. Credit line means a line for credit. That is, you could buy now, pay later. So Sri Lankan government buys urea from Indian companies. Indian companies pay the Indian companies. Indian government will pay the Indian companies the price of the urea, and Sri Lanka will pay to India much later. Okay, so effectively we are creating a market for our goods. We are earning the goodwill of the people of Sri Lanka, and hopefully the Sri Lankan government will be that much more considerate of Indian demands, Indian requests. Okay, so things are pretty fragile in Sri Lanka, and they are not likely to get any better in the next at least a year. Things are going to get worse before they get better in Sri Lanka. Okay, so that's Sri Lanka for you. Sri Lanka has a new Prime Minister, Dinesh Gunawardene. Dinesh Gunawardene. What about Philippines? Philippines is an island nation which is also worried worried of Chinese about Chinese activities, and they have purchased the BrahMos missiles from India. BrahMos missiles from India, and you should know that Philippines, the current president is a new guy, Francis Marcos Jr. Francis Marcos Jr. Francis Marcos Jr., my friends, is also called, okay, let's not bring in his nickname and everything. Okay, koi baat nahi. Bong Bong. He's also called Bong Bong Marcos. His father, Francis Marcos Sr., was a dictator of Philippines. He ruled the country with an iron fist, and his wife was infamous for, Imelda Marcos was her name, and she was infamous for stashing away at least 3,000 pairs of footwear. I'm not kidding. Look it up once. Imelda Marcos shoe collection. Okay. But China has allowed this. China has forced Sri Lanka to allow this port, this ship to come into Sri Lankan harbor. For now, things are pretty bad in Sri Lanka. See, as they say, beggars can't be choosers. Sri Lanka is a beggar country. Today, not much is working for Sri Lanka. It's on the verge of, it's already bankrupt. Okay. Yeah, nobody likes to be called bankrupt, but that's the case with Sri Lanka. That's also the case with Sri Lanka. It's a country that does not have any paisa to pay for its loan, to pay its foreign loans, to pay for its needs also. That is imports. Yeah. So I think this should be fine. We don't need to. But who is this? Who is president? Who is the chief of the Indian Air Force? Vivek Ram Chaudhary. I think in two places we have Sri Lanka, here and here. So you could have chosen either, no harm. Okay. Fiji is a small island in the Pacific Ocean, northeast of Australia. Its capital is a place called Suva. And you don't have to write, but the Prime Minister is Frank Bainimarama. Okay. Madagascar is an island in the Indian Ocean. It's the fourth biggest island in the world, and its capital is a place called Antananarivo. Antananarivo. And its president is Andry Rajoelina. Andry Rajoelina. Andry Rajoelina. Okay. The global footballing governing body, FIFA, recently suspended the AIFF, which is the All India Football Federation, due to undue influence from third parties. FIFA is based in Zurich. There is this entire controversy. See, I will explain this in the next class in detail because currently the case is sub judice in Sri Lanka in the Supreme Court of India, and hopefully, while one verdict came yesterday, let's hope that another verdict comes that makes the picture clear. I'm going to discuss this entire controversy in the next class. But let's look at FIFA. This is a French short form of the French full form, which in English means International Association of Football, or International Confederation, or International Federation of Association Football. Federation of Association Football. Different organizations, I mean, you don't have to worry about the full name. It's International Federation of Association Football. Okay, you could write governing body of football, beach volleyball, beach football and futsal. Find out what is this. Very interesting game. It's a governing body of football, beach football and futsal. Next, head office Zurich, Switzerland. Next, top 3 men's, or you could write first top 3 global rankings, or world. You could say top 3 dash world. 1, 2, 3. Right. Brazil. For now, Brazil is world number 1. Okay. What is the place here? Yeah. Belgium, which was for a long time the world champion. Okay. World number 1 ranked team. So Brazil, Belgium, and Brazil's neighbor Argentina. Okay, guys. What about India rank? India 159. So this is men's top 3. Men's football top 3. Okay, Brazil, Belgium, and Argentina. Let's clear this and write top 3 women. Okay, top 3 women. 1, US. 2, Germany. 3, Sweden. 58 by 150. How many countries are there? 158. 185 countries. So Indian women's football team ranks 58 among 185 nations. So 58 India. Next, I think this should be fine here. Okay, FIFA 2022 Football World Cup, Qatar. Is it Qatar? Okay. Rear Admiral Guillermo Pablo Rios has been named head of the mission and chief military observer for the UN Military Observer Group in India and Pakistan. He is from Argentina. So what is this? See, India and Pakistan went to war in 1947-48. Okay, we got independence in 47, but Kashmir was not a part of India. And so Pakistan launched an attack. Pakistan launched an attack. In this attack, the Maharaja of Kashmir felt helpless. At the time, Kashmir is not a part of India. Okay. So the attack started in October 1947, couple of months after independence. This is why you cannot trust Pakistan. Okay. So they attacked Kashmir. They had almost occupied the whole of Kashmir, but for the fact that those guys stopped by villages, they looted the locals, raped the women, killed the men. In the meanwhile, the Maharaja of Kashmir approached Government of India and he said, please save my state. The Government of India said, look, we can, but we won't for now. Why not? He asked. Because you are not a part of India. You're not a part of India. So since you're not a part of India, you're not a part of India, we would want you to understand that, it won't be possible for us to come into someone else's territory and, let the world accuse us. That look, 150 years these guys fought against British for illegally occupying their place. Now they are doing that in Kashmir. So the Maharaja asked, what's the way out? The Government of India said there is a way out, and the way is you sign an instrument of accession bringing Kashmir into India, J&K into India. The Maharaja of Kashmir had no choice. So he said, I'll sign. So he signed. The instrument of accession brought Kashmir, J&K into India. That was 48. But in the meanwhile, Government of India launched a military operation after the signature after instrument of accession. The Government of India launched a military operation codenamed Rescue. Operation Rescue. So this was 1948. We blundered. At this point, we blundered. We did a very good job of getting Kashmir into India, but we blundered here on. See, the Prime Minister of India, Jawaharlal Nehru, said that he went on All India Radio and told the people of Kashmir that given the circumstances in which you had no choice in becoming a part of India because your Maharaja decided this for you, we would like to hold a plebiscite, which means referendum, in which you could either stay back with India or become an independent nation. This went against everything that leaders like Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel stood for. But it was late. This was announced. So Pakistan went to the United Nations and said that, look, India attacked Kashmir, a sovereign country, whatever. And hence we want you to intervene and bring about a ceasefire. So India and Pakistan were continuing to fight. As they continued to fight, on 1st January 1949, a ceasefire was declared by the UN, United Nations. This ceasefire line, the UN said, please stop fighting, don't fight. We relented, we gave in. We said that the line where this fighting has stopped shall be called the line of control. This side, our control, that side of the line, their control, Pakistan control. So effectively, the 1st January 1949 ceasefire line is a LOC, line of control in Kashmir. Is a line of control in Kashmir. That's it. Okay. So we in the beginning recognized the UN coming into the country and all. We also brought in something remarkable. In 1972, after the defeat of Pakistan by India or Bangladesh, In 1972, Pakistan and India signed the Shimla Agreement. Through this agreement, India said, there are other clauses, I'll not go there, I'll stick to the question. India said, from today we will no longer hold the UNMOGIP as a party to the bilateral dispute between Pakistan and India. Means Kashmir, J&K would be mediated by, the issue of J&K would be mediated by, no party. That's what it meant. We will not accept. So since then, India has not recognized UN MOGIP. So where does UN MOGIP sit in? Earlier it had two offices, Delhi and Islamabad. Now it has only one office, Islamabad. India does not recognize UN MOGIP. India says it's our problem, we will try to solve it. We don't want you guys in. Okay. So, what about the capitals of these places? In this class, we'll stick to capitals. Okay. Argentina, Buenos Aires. Brazil, Brasilia. Peru, Lima. Mexico, Mexico City. Panama, Panama City. Panama City. Now, one major thing is that when the Pakistanis approached UN, the UN called for a ceasefire, and the Pakistanis said the ceasefire resolution shall include the provision of plebiscite. India announced a plebiscite, so it shall be held. But then India also brought in its own condition. It said, okay, have it as a part of the resolution, but you should also write that a referendum will be completed only when the entire area of J&K and Ladakh, in those days J&K, is, entire area is free from, free from any kind of military presence, either from India or Pakistan. So, in effect, India will hold a referendum in J&K only if the Pakistanis withdraw their military forces from beyond the LOC. You got it? From their side of the LOC. Now, is Pakistan going to vacate VPOK? No. Which means an important condition of ceasefire would not be met. If an important condition is not met, then we are under no obligation to hold a referendum. So, holding of a referendum is tied to the point that there shall not be any military presence in J&K. But the Pakistanis have occupied, intend to keep it, don't want to give any independence to that place. Okay, yeah. Which of the following institutions or country has announced a new initiative to accelerate climate change in 10 states and union territories across India? All of them. United Nations Development Program, head office New York City, and it's run by a Brazilian-German bureaucrat named Achim Steiner. Achim Steiner is the administrator of the UNDP. Japan, the Prime Minister is Fumio Kishida. The Emperor of Japan is Naruhito. So, the Emperor of Japan is Naruhito. The Prime Minister is Fumio Kishida. The UNDP Administrator is Achim Steiner. India added 11 more wetlands to the list of Ramsar sites to make it a total of 75 sites in India, which cover a range of about 13 lakh hectares. Which state has a maximum number of Ramsar sites? Tamil Nadu. You could write this. Ramsar, R-A-M-S-A-R. Underline that. First point. signed at Ramsar town in Iran. Ramsar town in Iran on 2nd February 1971. 1971. Next, 2nd February, second point, 2nd February is celebrated as World Wetlands Day. World Wetlands Day. Okay, next point. What's a wetland? See, a wetland is a large marshy land, lot of bog, lot of keychad, lot of mud, sand, whatever, where the water level during low tide does not go deeper than 6 meters. Does not go deeper than 6 meters. Okay, 6 meters. So essentially, it's not a very deep place. It has, you could write this, Ramsar Convention provides a framework for national action and international cooperation for national action and international cooperation for conservation of wetlands. National action, international cooperation. Next point. UK has highest number of wetlands. (175 wetlands). Next, India has 75 wetlands. India has 75 wetlands. Next, Tamil Nadu has 14. In brackets, highest number of wetlands. Next, Sundarban. I'm so sorry. Sundarban. Sundar means beautiful, ban means forest. Sundarban is beautiful forest. That's what it means. So, Sundarban dash largest Ramsar site. If you want to write as to which were the first ones in India, you write last point. India's first two wetlands. One, Chilka Lake. And two, Keoladeo. See, Chilka Lake is in Rajasthan, is in Odisha. Keoladeo is in Rajasthan. Okay. Next. There's a lot of stuff. The Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment has launched the Smile 75 initiative. Find the true statements. All of them are true. So I'm not going to see. It's all about making sure that our cities, urban areas are free from begging, are free of beggars. And for that would require taking care of these marginalized people, who struggle to make ends meet. Okay. That's why SMILE stands for Support for Marginalized Individuals for Livelihood and Enterprise. So provide them with some kind of vocational training so that they could stand on their own rather than beg. Okay, one last, see, this is the ministry now, you could write this. Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, dash, Dr. Virender Kumar. Dr. Virender Kumar. In some places you may find DRA. Do not worry. Okay, Virendra or Virender. Different places, different spellings. Next. Asia's largest compressed biogas plant has recently been commissioned in Sangru district in Punjab. We will not discuss this. Okay, Punjab. You know, Punjab has the highest percentage of SC population in, you know, as percentage of its total population. The state with the highest percentage of SC population as part of its total population is Punjab. I think 23% something. Okay, so there are things that you could look at. For example, Haryana has the lowest sex ratio among all Indian states. Uttar Pradesh has the highest population. A contingent of the Indian Air Force is in Malaysia to participate in a bilateral exercise named, okay, you know, it's mentioned there. I'm not Udar Shakti. See, this is Malaysia. This is our country. This is India here, relative here. You see this, India. This is Malaysia. This Malaysia has two colors. You see this similar color because this is peninsular Malaysia and this is island Malaysia. See, this Malaysia has two capitals. One is Putrajaya and the second one is Kuala Lumpur. And the Prime Minister here is Ismail Yaqub. In some places you will find double A, single O. Both are right. Okay. I'll give you both the spellings. See now. I want this to be clear. This is Malaysia. This is also Malaysia. This island is called, you see this island here? This is called the island of Borneo. This is the third biggest island in the world. Greenland, this island here you see, yeah. This is called the New Guinea island. New Guinea. Second biggest island. This is the third biggest. The southern part is Indonesia. The northern part is Malaysia. Within here, the northern part, you have an island country. You have the small Islamic kingdom called Bandar Seri Begawan. Bandar Seri Begawan. Okay. Where I just wanted you to become familiar with this. People often talk of Bali and all that. This is Bali. This is Bali. Okay. Chalo. Hey, could we look at these choices here? Mitra Shakti Island. This is an exercise with Sri Lanka. Konkan, UK. Okay. See, there is Indonesia here. You see, this is Indonesia. One color, very large country, world's largest archipelago. Garuda Shakti, Indonesia. Nomadic elephant, Mongolia. Yeah. A while ago we discussed Philippines. The new president there. This is Philippines. Yeah. Which is the top performer among public sector lenders in terms of the loan and deposit growth in percentage during the first quarter of 22-23? Bank of Maharashtra is doing quite well. Bank of Maharashtra is run by CEO A.S. Rajiv. Okay. Indian Overseas Bank, Partha Pratim. Okay, let's write the surname also. Sengupta. Partha Pratim Sengupta. Next, Bank of Baroda, Sanjeev Chadda. Sanjeev Chadda. State Bank of India, you know, Dinesh Khara. Canara Bank, Lingam Venkata Prabhakar. Lingam Venkata Prabhakar. Okay. Which institution developed India's first 3D printed human cornea? Cornea is what is pretty important. It's an important eye component. Okay, the first 3D printed human cornea has come from Hyderabad-based three institutes. LV Prasad, which is one of the leading eye institutes in India. Okay, IIT Delhi, IIT Hyderabad, and in the end we have the Center for Cellular and Molecular Biology, CCMB. Okay. Which bank announced an agreement with BYD India, a division of the BYD Electric Vehicle Company, to provide equity financings to its entire dealer network? Equity finance means capital. They will lend money to set up businesses and all that. HDFC Bank. What is BYD? You can write this. BYD Group. Build your dream. Nice company name now. Build your dream. BYD Group is headquartered in Shenzhen. It's a huge company. Shenzhen, China. Okay. What is it? Wang Chuangfu is the founder of this company. He's the founder and CEO. Wang Chuangfu. This company makes batteries, electric vehicles, and all that stuff. It is believed that it has sold more electric vehicles in the first 6 months of this year than Tesla. Yes. You have heard of Tesla, but some people do their work discreetly without other people knowing about it. Okay. HDFC Bank, the CEO is Sashidhar Jagdishan. Axis Bank, Amitabh Chaudhary. IndusInd Bank, Sumant Katpalia. ICICI Bank, Sandeep Bakshi. Which is the first Indian company to be named in the 2022 Forbes Cloud 100 list? Cloud companies which provide cloud services, which kind of are willing to host your data, all kinds of data on their servers. So Razorpay is India's first such company. It's a company that provides financial services software. Your QR code, when you make a payment through. A while ago, I made a payment through, credit card on some website. So it provides those kind of software things. Okay. So this company's CEO is Harshil Mathur. He's a co-founder also. Okay. Cred. This is one of those brands that most people don't understand anything about. I mean, it claims to have a great valuation and everything, but there is no business model it has that is paying any dividends to it. I think they spent the last year profit was 52 crores and losses were 52 lakhs was business revenue, and crores of rupees were losses. So Cred, Kunal Shah is the founder, CEO. Kunal Shah. Paytm, Vijay Shekhar Sharma. Three guys own phone pay. Virgin engineer, Virgin engineer. Number two, Rahul Chari, Rahul Chari, and Nandan Reddy. I guess these three guys. Yeah. Chalo. On the occasion of India's 75th Independence Day, which bank has introduced a new term deposit program named Utsav Deposit? It's a 1,000-day FD, 1,000 day, and the interest would be 6.1%. See, inflation today is 12%, which means the value of your money is going down by 12%, whereas in the bank it will increase by 6%. So you're actually losing money. This is minus 6%. Be careful, man, where you spend your money. Yeah, very important to be aware of where we are spending, how we are spending money. Are we earning more than the inflation rate? Okay, see, whenever you look at this, what the bank gives you, what the bank promises is called nominal rate of interest. From this you should minus inflation rate. This will give you real rate of return. So if it's 12% and this is 6%, you're earning plus 6%. But now if you reverse this, yeah, this is 12% and this is 6%, you are actually losing money, isn't it? Yeah, be careful about investments. Chala. A list of the best 200 mid-sized businesses in the Asia Pacific area was released by Forbes Asia recently. The number of Indian businesses that made to the list to the best under a billion list, best under a billion means $1 billion turnover, was 24. 24 Indian companies made it to this list. And some of these, like, you must be familiar with Aarti Industries, very famous. It's a stock market darling, Aarti Industries. Then there is Dollar Industries. Find out what do these companies do. Then there is Deepak Nitrate. Okay. There is Paras Pipes. Oh, plenty of such companies. Prince Pipes is another. So, which state will host the second edition of the Northeast Olympics from 30th October to 6th? Oh, I think this is 30th October to 6th November 2022. The answer is Meghalaya. So Northeast Olympics, you could write this. Northeast Olympics. First point. Host Meghalaya state. 50th year of, the reason for this is 50th year of statehood. 50th year of statehood. So Meghalaya is 50 years old. Nice. It's a beautiful place. Very, very beautiful. Especially in winters, it's awesome. This particular sporting event will see about 4,000 athletes, participants from across the northeastern states. Okay, and 4,000 participants, 18 disciplines, 18 sports. You will have football, tennis, swimming, basketball. You would have wushu, WUSHU, martial art. Okay, so that's the idea. And it won't be held only in Shillong, the capital. It is likely to be held in about 13 places across the state. Who is the Chief Minister of Meghalaya? The Chief Minister of Meghalaya is Conrad Sangma. Assam, Himanta Biswa Sharma. Sikkim, Prem Singh Tamang. Prem Singh Tamang. Manipur, Biren Singh. Mizoram, Zoram Thanga. What is meant by check truncation? Check truncation. Look at the definition. So instead of sending a check, an image is sent. So what exactly is this? You could write this. I'm giving you the idea of a check truncation system. You could write check truncation system. This directly comes from the RBI website. Okay, check truncation system. Underline that first point. Process of stopping. Process of stopping the physical flow of a check. Physical flow means actual movement of check by the presenting bank to the paying bank. So you gave me a check, I deposit my account, my bank will become a presenting bank. It will present to the bank that will pay the check. Okay, so in the past checks were physically sent. Now this leads to lot of problems, like it would take some days for the check to be sent, and then of course the amount to be credited to my account, and there was always this fear of loss. Then the check would get crumpled. There was always this fear that it could be stolen unless it was crossed, of course. Yeah, so there was also cost involved, the bank sending it from here to another place and all that. So this kind of, what happens now is, you could write the second point. Today an electronic image of the physical check, actual check, let's say this is a check, okay, physical check, an image of the physical check, an electronic image of the physical check is shared along with MICR. What is MICR? Magnetic ink character recognition. MICR, comma, date of presentation, comma, etc. So no physical check is sent, electronic images are sent. Next, this reduces cost of, reduces transaction cost. Transaction includes transportation and all that stuff. Okay, transaction cost and reduces this reduces the transportation cost and time taken for transfer of money. Okay, see, these days, unless they are high value checks, almost no one sends them. Okay, no one issues them. People today use NEFT, National Electronic Fund Transfer, or anything above 2 lakh rupees. People use RTGS, which is real time gross settlement. So there are better methods today than issuing a check. Also, the banks have become smarter. They want to reduce cost and all that, and they want to expedite the process of immediate credit to the bank account. Which of the following is incorrect with respect to the BCSBI? BCSBI. What does it stand for? Banking Codes and Standards Boards of India. So it is about audit whether a bank's doing the job well or not, kind of thing. Okay. So I mean everything except that it's an independent body. It's not a wholly owned subsidiary of RBI. Everything else is right. Okay. What's the capital of North Korea? Pretty much in news. They fired 3 rockets recently. Yeah. So this is North Korea. North Korea is north of South Korea, isn't it? So it shares borders with South Korea, China, and here this top here is Russia. Okay, Russia. So this is a communist country, a single party country. They call it the Workers' Party, but it's a communist party. Only the Kim family has ruled this country since 1945 till date. Till date. First came Kim Il Sung. He ruled between 1945 to 94. He was succeeded by his son Jong Il, Kim Jong Il, 1994 to 2011, and since then it has been Kim Jong Un, yeah, running the show. Kim Jong Un has boyish features, very little fellow features, and he's pretty chubby, but mastermind. Yeah, he has nuclear missiles, nuclear weapons, which he is using to threaten his arch rivals, South Korea and Japan, and of course the US. Yeah, North Korean missiles can reach almost the entire world. That's the range of their missiles. Yeah. But the country is in deep trouble. Seriously, serious deep trouble. There's no paisa. And no one is exporting anything to China, North Korea, because it's under UN sanctions, American sanctions, EU sanctions, and all. And you also need to understand that its only best friend is China. Okay? But China uses North Korea to fire at the UN, US, EU, everyone else. Okay, to Japan. China and Japan don't see eye to eye. Japan does not see. Japan, not this pen. Japan and South Korea don't see eye to eye. North Korea and Japan don't see eye to eye. Okay, let me clear this first. Okay, Japan. South Korea, China, no. North Korea, China, friends. Why? Enemy is a friend. China's enemy is South Korea. South Korea's enemy is North Korea. North Korea thus becomes a friend of China. Also, both are communist countries. Okay? Japan, China are enemies. They are enemies. That's how it is. So, China is putting their gun. The Chinese are putting their gun on the shoulders of North Koreans and firing at Japan, at South Korea, at the US, everyone. Yeah. So, Seoul, this is the capital of South Korea. This is South Korea here. Hanoi, up down here. You see Hanoi? This is Vietnam. Taipei, this is the island of Taiwan. Vientiane, you see this here at the bottom here? Yeah, this is Laos, the country of Laos. Country of Laos. See, Laos, Vietnam, China, and North Korea are all single party states, communist single party states. Dictatorship runs in all these countries. Vietnam is still okay, better than China and North Korea and Laos, but otherwise it's like pretty bad out there. Yeah. Thank you. That's all from me, Bharat C. Jain here. Have a lot of fun. Stay curious.